Hi, Johnny. How you doing?
Good. Nice seeing you.
Thank you. Nice seeing you too.
Yeah, great.
Okay,
Let's
I'm
see
going to
poetry and
start.
prose live.
I'm starting the recording.
This meeting is being recorded.
Hi, welcome everyone to Poetry and Prose. It is the 23rd of March, 2025, and this is our celebration. This is our celebration of World Poetry Day. I'm going to introduce our chairperson for today, Krishna Samaru. He's an author, an editor, and a long-standing member in Poetry and Prose. Krishna, I thought you would be the best person to chair today because of poetry, and you just published your sonnets, your book of sonnets. So thank you for chairing, and I will hand over to you.
Yes, okay. How come I see? Yeah, 1 p.m. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome. Welcome, one and all. Yes, I feel honored to be asked to host today's session as it is World Poetry Day that we are celebrating. It was actually celebrated on the 21st of March, but this is our way of celebrating it. It was declared by UNESCO as World Poetry Day in 1999 with the aim of supporting, I'm reading here now, linguistic diversity through poetic expression and increasing the opportunity for endangered languages to be heard. Well, I could understand the linguistic diversity, I understand that. A poetic expression, that part, but the endangered languages, that was new to me. Increasing the opportunity for endangered languages to be heard. That was informative. Its purpose, that is World Poetry Day, is to promote the reading, writing, publishing, and teaching of poetry throughout the world, and to give fresh recognition and impetus to national, regional, and international poetry movements. In our case, we are Poetry and Prose movement, founded by Gersha Mahavir. I knew it as October the 15th in a different Janam when Anson Gonzalez used to celebrate it. Cynthia can bear me out on this. October the 15th used to send in invitations. Krishna, read something for for Poetry Day, International Poetry Day. October 15th, I never questioned why. It's only the other day I questioned Google why. And Google said that was the birthday of Virgil, the Roman epic poet and poet laureate under Augustus. So I didn't know this also. I just say, okay, October the 15th, no problem. I'll be there. And UNESCO declared it on the proposal of PEN, PEN. PEN International had proposed it to the United Nations. Now, PEN is a worldwide association of writers founded in London in 1921. So it was their influence that caused UNESCO, as far as the research is concerned, to declare it on the 21st of March. And why the 21st of March? Well, I understand again that that's the date of the vernal equinox, the spring equinox, equal night and day. So I suppose they have a reason behind that particular day. Good. So having said that, we have a list of poets here, and I see they had me as number one. Now, Anson used to really put me up early in the program. And I didn't mind that. I didn't mind going first or second or third, because you're eager to read what you have before the audiences, like and in the library, sometimes at Hilton, sometimes at City Hall, and later on, I read at Naparima Bowl and the Little Car, not no, yeah, the Little Carib Theatre, and also through Vishnu Gosain, the folk theatre of the Diwali Nagar. I also read at UE and things. So I enjoyed reading my poems. And so when they see me reading the poems, they say, oh, so that's a poet. But I don't define myself or label myself as a poet. But it's nice. It's nice to know people say, oh, there's a poet. And the best compliment I got was from Pan Stewart, president of the Writers Union at one time. And he said to me, he said when they were introducing me to the audience, he said, not only is he a poet, he looks like one. Well, that I giggle. That had me now. Feeling good now. I not only do I am I a poet, I look like one. Well, I suppose it's the here and thing now when he saw that, right? So I am using the privilege I have as host to put myself down the list. So Heather, sorry about that. I want to call on you first. Heather Laltu Ferguson, according to our schedule here. Heather, is she here?
Oh yeah, I'm here.
I need to see Heather. So I need to see the view. If I see the gallery, right. I also would like to welcome all newcomers, Shivana.
Thank you.
And well, Shivana. The rest are regulars to poetry and prose, fairly regular.
Joan
So it's nice to
Brathwaite.
see.
Joan
It's nice to
Brathwaite.
see Kamta. It's nice to see Kamta, Joan,
Joan,
Johnny. Welcome, Johnny.
may I
And
just break in here? Because
yes, yes.
Joan
Yeah.
Brathwaite, I'm very happy she's here today because she is Kamal's sister. Kamal
Yes.
Brathwaite's sister.
Right.
So I'm doubly happy that she has joined us.
Right. Sister of the famous Edward Kamau Brathwaite. Correct.
Correct.
Okay, so Heather, sorry about that, girl. You taking the first shot today with Saturdays. Okay.
Yes, and I am speaking from the diaspora, so this poem is kind of influenced by the Saturdays I used to know in Trinidad. Saturday, penal market buzzing. Carrot, redfish, cavalli, sauce, pigtail, green fig, vendors shouting their goods. Saturday is soup day, grandma stirring the pot. Thick broth, eddos, cassava, yam, fluffy dumplings too. Green mango chow with pepper, lime juice cold with ice, and just a dash of Angostura bitters. Saturday is visiting day, making the rounds to family. Auntie Nora in Union Hall, Uncle Jerry in Monrepo, San Fernando Wharf, Farallon in the Gulf, Fish Market doing a brisk trade, Rum Shop, Old Men Liming, killing time, Harris Promenade, Naprima Girls, Library Corner, and Coffee Street, Diamond Village and Palm East, doubles in Debe. Those were the days, the Saturdays of my yesterdays. I never knew then how my life would change. Saturdays now are still, gray days that go on forever. I'm shut off from the world like a bird in a cage. Now I know what ghosts must feel like, separated from the life that they once knew. The tongue has its own memory of what it's like to taste tamarind from its crusty shell and guava off the tree. The ear has its own nostalgia, listening for the sounds of the busy market, the cacophony of vendors' musical calls. The heart remembers all the nooks and crannies on the road to family, uncle and auntie's house, all the special landmarks that defined life. The mind is an acrobat. It can careen from place and time, to long vanished vistas, so the mind's eye can once again see. It is where the imagination can run free, feel the sea spray at Mayaro, the crisp air at Paramin. It can put you in a carnival band in downtown Port of Spain, the tempo and beat throbbing in your head. The body has its own hallmarks too. The echo of a scar on the brow you got climbing the sour cherry tree, and the mark upon the knee you got falling from the Governor Plum Tree, where we children met high up for aerial storytelling. Now I know what ghosts must feel like, trying to reach out through time to touch the life they left behind. Thank you. The end.
Thank you, Heather. Thank you, Heather, for that nostalgic piece, contrasting the Saturday in your island home and your Saturday now in your away home. If there's anyone who would like to make a comment, feel free.
You have to come home, Gil. You need a visit. You need a visit.
I'm looking forward to coming by Motilal and Savi. I guess Savi going to cook for me.
Yes, yes, you're welcome. I have my next friend, Rishna Jamraj. She always said that you could come and stay by her too.
Yeah.
Also.
I'd like to welcome Cassie. Cassie?
Oh,
yes,
okay.
Althea, go ahead.
No, I wanted to say that unlike Heather, I look forward to the quiet of my Saturdays because I have my grandson who is 22 months every afternoon during the week. So Saturday is my day of recuperation. And I'm glad I don't have anyone to look after. So it's my me time, my Saturday. And yeah, it's the day I go into the city and I go shopping. We don't have big markets like in Trinidad, but we do have a lot of Asian markets here in Basel. You can go and buy your cassava and plantain, but it's not the same as a big market, and you can hear the people talking to each other and catching up on the latest gossip and all of that. But it's the closest thing, an Asian supermarket or an Indian supermarket is the closest thing that it takes me home anyway, takes me home. So it's better than nothing.
Hi, we're getting some feedback from someone's line. I'm not sure. It just seems as perhaps the mic is a little close. So if you can mute, please do, just so we can have a clear line. Thanks.
Thank you for that, Kush. I was going to make that observation as well. I'm hearing an extraneous sound now. Johnny,
Maybe
if you could,
air condition.
something, a scraping sound.
Maybe
I don't
we
know. I don't know if from whom.
Let me
But you are the only one not muted. If you could mute, can you mute?
I will mute.
Right. Huh?
I will mute
Sorry?
it. Maybe I forgot to mute.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me see. Right. I'm now seeing the slash across the icon. Okay. All right. So thank you, Heather, for starting us off with Saturdays. We go now to Vishnu Gosain. And I think Moti is supposed to help out here. Vishnu told me he sent a text saying he sent recordings to Moti. So Moti, you have the recordings?
I sent a recording to Heather. I'm not Heather, to Gusha.
So Gusha will okay, so
Gusha could do that. If she's not there, we'll do it later.
Share my screen.
Yeah.
So Gusha, Vishnu is supposed to read Waiting for Rain and Poetry at an Overseas Prison by Kanya Shirley. I don't know if both were both by Kanya Shirley or Waiting for Rain by somebody else. Need clarification on that. Gush,
Sure.
go ahead.
Can we move on to the next person and come back to Vishnu after? I'm just trying to get the
Yes,
stuff.
Gush. Yes, Gush. You can go on to the next person, who is Arlene. Arlene, where's Arlene? Arlene, are you ready, girl?
As much as I can be.
Right. Arlene is going to read a poem by a Palestinian poet. Arlene, you will help me with the pronunciation of that name, girl. Yes? If I Must Die.
Okay.
Arlene is a regular to Poetry and Prose. She's engaged in a lot of writing, short stories, and she reads very well. Love to hear her voice. Arlene.
Thank you. If I Must Die by Rifat Alaria. If I must die, you must live to tell my story, to sell my things, to buy a piece of cloth and some strings. Make it white with a long tail, so that a child somewhere in Gaza, while looking heaven in the eye, awaiting his dad who left in a blaze, and bid no one farewell, not even to his flesh, not even to himself. Sees the kite, my kite you made, flying up above, and thinks for a moment an angel is there, bringing back love. If I must die, let it bring hope. Let it be a tale. This poem has become a symbol of hope, love, and resistance. Rifat Alaria was killed on December 6, 2023, by an Israeli airstrike in northern Gaza, along with his brother, sister, and 4 nephews. A collection of his poems and prose was published in December 2024. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Arlene, for that emotive piece. You captured the tragedy of it in your tone. Responses from anyone? I'd like to welcome. I see Vilma has joined us. Cassie, I was welcoming you a while ago. Yeah, nice to see you after all these years. Welcome, Vilma.
Thank you.
Yes. If there's anyone who would like to respond to Arlene's piece?
Thanks for reading, Arlene. I think that's one of the things I love about poetry. The fact that the emotion cuts so deep in poetic pieces. When you write fiction, you have to have so much build up and so much buy-in from the reader. As with poetry, it's such raw emotion. And it really, hearing that piece, no matter where you stand on what side of the aisle, I feel as though you can understand and feel that empathy. Thanks for sharing.
Correct.
You know that having
Frank.
heard the 2 poems, the first one gave me a sense of elation and a sense of nostalgia from Heather, and then this one, it's almost like experiencing somebody suffering from bipolar disease would experience. The elation of Heather's poem, and
the height. Yeah.
Yes. And then the complete antithesis of that is the tragedy of Gaza that's recognized, that's not recognized by many of our governments. nonetheless, it's a tragedy that's almost nauseous to even hear the word Gaza or Israel or what have you. So that's a very profound poetry.
That is correct.
Thanks for choosing that.
That's correct what you say. Yes, sure. Who is this?
Shivana.
Shivana.
Yes.
Welcome, Shivana. Yes.
Thank you so very much. This is my second time here. I just thought both poems, I didn't see it as high and low. I just thought both poems captured, in different ways, albeit, a sense of longing for home. One was more tragic, and one spoke about what I wouldn't say more mundane things, but there was a sense of loss in both poems that I recognized, and a longing for things that were gone and things that were lost. That's that's what I saw in both poems. Love them both. And thank you so very much for sharing.
Yes, and the term, you see, the market that Heather spoke about, market, is, you have so many associations with market, that word market. And likewise with the word Gaza, we have so many associations now accruing with that word Gaza. You hear Gaza and your mind responds in a certain way. You hear, likewise, you hear market and your mind responds in a certain way. So that's the poet, how the poet selects like symbols, things to stand as symbol. The market becomes a symbol. Gaza, the strip, becomes a symbol. So we going on.
Yeah.
Any other?
I'm ready.
Yes,
if you
Cassie.
want.
Okay, sorry, Cassie.
Oh,
Cassie, come
okay.
in.
Let me know when you're ready for me, Krishna.
Cassie, come in.
Yes, good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon,
I was
Cassie.
unable to respond to you, Krishna, because every time I started, someone began to
coming
speak.
in.
I allowed them to just continue. I did not hear Heather in her entirety, but what I gathered from it was, really good imagery, and as other people spoke, the nostalgia of for homeland, And the other, and in Ali's piece now, there's also nostalgia, this time for the loss of so many lives, particularly the lives of children, and the imagery there, with the angel-like clothing, and the plane, and so on, really brought home that feeling of loss, like everything is just going on, sort of thing. So far appreciating what has been read, and hopefully if I get a chance today, I'll make my own.
Of course, we'll see. It's definitely, we'll see if we could squeeze in as many as would like to read. Thank you, Cassie. Gersha? Gersha?
Hi, Krishna, I'm here.
Yes, you ready?
Yes.
So you're ready to go with Vishnu's pieces, right?
Yes.
Okay, Gersh, all yours.
Please let me know if you're not seeing the screen.
Well, I thought I was seeing it just now, but I'm not seeing it, and I'm not hearing anything either.
Okay.
Are you on sound yet?
Yes. 1 minute. You should be seeing it.
Right. We saw you just now.
Are you seeing my screen now?
Well, I'm seeing it on the gallery. I just seen your name, and your icon. Well, you want to try again? Let me skip again and I'll come back to you.
Sure, no problem.
Yeah, because I don't want to interfere with time that people can use later on, right?
Sure.
Okay. Right. As the big man moving right, we come to Cynthia. Cynthia?
Yes.
Cynthia Morel Birch. Now Cynthia is going to resurrect the ghost of Anson Gonzalez here by reading Love for Persons from a collection that Anson brought out late. Now I had my copy, I don't know where it gone. I lent somebody it, and sometimes that's it. You lend people your books. You lend people a book, or you lend people your books, and that's it, it's goodbye. So I had a nice copy. Cynthia, I had a nice copy of that book. I lose it. It's gone. Okay, Cynthia?
Yes, thank you. I have chosen a piece by Anson Gonzalez, who helped to put World Poetry Day firmly on the map in Trinidad and Tobago. Having looked at and read it again, I decided to read the same poem that I read at the launch of Crosswords of Dream in Anson's honor on his birthday, 21st August 2003, because it speaks volumes. That's on page 24. So it goes like this. Love for persons, like love for life, is sometimes realized or activated by the strangest incidents. Many times it arises out of misfortune. Out of the depths of despair, soul cries to its creator for salvation. And because of the creator's love for soul, a perennially new bond is strengthened. Soul revels in its newly found unity with its source and glows in the warmth of spirit. At the physical plane, something similar happens. A crisis brings people together, and the soul sparks in the eyes sometimes touch. The call for help and the desire to assist come together and generate love, simulating the events on the soul plane. When this is based on pre-existing mutuality, emotions erupt, and this plane love is born with all its adjuncts of desire, pleasure, and possession, and all of its attendant pains when the situation is not really open to such love. Expression of love on this plane should not be blocked. Channeled, yes, but not blocked. To stem the flow, to dam up the love within one's heart, is to make it turn rancid and sour. Once love starts flowing with its healing aspects, its stroking aspects, one must enjoy it in the fullness of spirit. One must view it as an aspect of divinity that takes its course towards the goals of self-realization and God-realization. One must love and learn. One must live and learn. And what one must learn from all this is how to love. Anson Gonzalez. Thank you.
Thank you, Cynthia,
You're welcome.
for bringing back Anson to us. A number of us can talk about Anson. A number of us can talk about Anson. Anson, noted for the new voices. He had a press And he also had used to produce these journals for 20 years. I think it's for 20 years he did this in an attempt to promote literature locally and regionally. And many writers can attest to the room and space Anson gave them in his journals, his publications. I can attest that it was Anson who printed or published my first book of poems, 1985, Tentacles and Tendrils. It was a competition. I may have said this before in this forum. It was a competition that he held for poets, a first collection. I did not come first. I came runner-up or second. Well, he just had the prize for first. I think it was $2,000, and you're getting a book published. Joseph Cummins was the one who won that competition, and he got his book published. Happy Anniversary, I think it was the name of it. But I came second, Tentacles and Tendrils. But Anson was behind me. He said, listen, Krishna, you did some stupidness here, he came, he was very bold about it. If you had tightened up your lines, that's what he said. I have the letter. If you had tightened up your lines, you would have won this quite easily. And you're getting the impression as if Anson wanted me to win. So he went ahead and he published this book, Tentacles and Tendrils. And it's when you get published and when you get promoted, and when people, as I said, start to see you as a writer or as a poet, then you go on. Perhaps if that had not happened, I may not have gone on. I might have done something else, some other pastime, but it's not a pastime. Writing, I have spoken about writing, the writer's life in sonnets, what it involves. It's not a pastime. It's a full-time job. It's a vocation, not an avocation. And if it's a vocation, then you have to give it the discipline required of a vocation, like writing. So I thank you, Cynthia, for bringing back Anson to us. Is there anyone else who would like to say something about Cynthia's poem or Anson Gonzalez? Feel free to do so. If not,
I'd just like to say, Krishna, that
yes. Yes.
Anson also published my first book of poems.
Well, congratulations.
Yeah, he had held them. He had held them for many a year, and I had forgotten about them until one Sunday we met. I wouldn't be long here. One Sunday we met. He was coming from his spirituality with
Ekanka,
and I was coming from my spirituality with Bodhicharya, which was actually on the same street. And he heard my voice when I came out, and one thing led to the other, and he did publish. And I was talking to someone recently about publishing, and she said that Anson published her first book also. He had his own press, and he was
he had his own press.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, he left the tools of that press with me, but in the moving and moving and moving.
Really?
I should have done better, but I must have done better. In having to move and move and move, everything got dismantled and separated. And, sorry about that, but that's how it is.
Okay, thank you, Cassie.
Yeah, bye. Yeah, bye. Thanks.
Right, so good evening, Althea. I like the term, I like the place. What's the name of it? Basel, Switzerland.
Basel, Switzerland. Yeah.
I like how you say Basel, right? Basel, Switzerland. So good evening. So you will be on with Ugly Stories. It's gender violence themed poems. It's more than one, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Ugly Stories. Okay, Althea, all yours.
Okay. I'm sharing Ugly Stories. It's a poem in several parts. It begins with the person who listens to all of these victims of gender violence. So the first one is Whisperer, the person who listens, and then the rest are the victims of gender violence. Ugly Stories. Whisperer. You flail upon the ground, wail and conceal your face when I speak to you. And you, I stand before your grave. Headlines scream your story. Speak to me, my sisters. Tell me how it feels to know such darkness. Your stories sap my marrow, but they must be heard, and I need to tell them again and again. Migrant, scalded dreams. Migrant in an alien land. I am of the wrong race, of the wrong religion, class, and gender. I arrived with the dreams of swimming out of the sea of poverty. But I am a stray dog in an alien town. The house I keep is filled with barking orders, the crying call of torturous children. I live on life's edge, threats ever present. Today, I am a scalded fright. Hold the skin of my peeling face, the pain louder than my screams. A tossed pan of boiling water, the answer to perceived disobedience. You will read my story, shake your head in pity at the sight of the scarred horror, shrug at the ugliness of this world, then turn the page. Second, spurned love. I listened to my doubts, rejected marriage. An acid tantrum sears my face. This man's pride is stronger than his professed love. No other shall have or love me. Next poem. No Liberty Bell rings here. You are the family patriarch, our self-anointed demigod. Your kingdom is shuttered against marching time. We are your daughters. Can we reach for your love? Will we find it if we search? Are we unwanted litter to be drowned? Entrenched in your dark universe, you are jury and judge, an angry God lost in your own religion. In your kingdom, where freedom is strangled, tight-lipped conspirators, force-fed by fear, blindly do your bidding. You are our Father. We are your daughters. Will we find love if we search? Will your love be as tiny as a mote of dust? Runaway, desire for liberty cost me freedom. Father takes his claim, vows to take the life he created. Cringing, tight-lipped mother sneaks me crumbs. Next, bride price. Mothers choose, aunts and grandmothers approve the verdict, decides who wins the village beauty. I am carted away, a trophy, intelligence no part of my worth. The price I fetch fills coffers. Next, between rocks. Swaddled in an old culture cocoon, I craved to be a Western butterfly. A tug of war and cries of family shame hurtled me into a freezing river. My coffin, a car, rocked by a river's rush, sits on a bed of rugged gray stones. No one heard my screams. Because I am a woman, they fear us, bearers of the human race. We are all Delilah in their eyes, our youth, our beauty beguiling, our smells alluring, our voices cotton candy. Raped because I am a woman, my outcry provoked a hail of stones, sparked a deadly crush, silenced because I am a woman. And the last, a place where sons are kings. When I see my baby girl, agony furrows my face, jolts my bones. Mouths groan and pelt bitter blame. 3 daughters are unforgivable. Unborn sons do not wish to be cradled by the hands that have held only daughters. In the name of unborn sons, I have sacrificed daughters, heard their strangled cries. My daughter's death is swift, and so is mine, in a world where sons are kings. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Althea. Now you see what I was saying about discipline? You're getting a strong sense of discipline in the way Althea worked her poems. These are a set of brief poems linked thematically. She calls them ugly stories. You get a strong sense of rhythm in each. You get images, and her choice of words or diction or the lexicon. Again, all of these things show how Althea uses discipline when she's crafting her poems. Okay? You get the idea that these are crafted. And of course, what makes it all the more potent is the way she herself, not everybody we say can read their own poem, but Althea reads her poems to reflect the cadences that you have in the lines of her composition. Cassie, what do you think about that? Anybody else would like to comment on that?
Althea,
Well,
I love your poem. Sorry.
Okay,
Continue.
thank you.
Thank you, Shivana, for that comment. Anybody else? No.
You asked me what I think about that.
Yeah, sorry, no. Cassie, go ahead.
Yeah, I think that that is excellent stuff. Excellent stuff. You know, it's very painful to listen to. Just like she said, you know, it's the images that were brought up were very painful to look at. As a matter of fact, you know, all the poems there, the active poems, affected all the senses. Every which sense was affected by the well-chosen words, the lexicon as you refer to them as. And, you know, second what you said about discipline there
Yes.
and crafting, you know, and maybe I can learn from that and get some discipline myself. And hopefully one day be a craft man. Thank you very much, Althea. Thanks
Yeah,
for
thank you.
inviting me.
Thank you, Cassie. Thank you, Althea, Shivana. We go next to Motilal Budu Singh. I know he's always eager to read. He is the co-head of Poetry and Prose and very a stalwart member of this group. Moti, you ready for us? The poems I remember, poems of my childhood.
Yeah,
Go
just
ahead.
a minute here.
Okay, I
Slowly
wonder,
going.
Shivana, I want to put you on standby there. Can I call you next?
Sure.
Right. I'd like to call Shivana next, right, Johnny, if you don't mind, to read after Moti.
Sure.
Poems of my childhood, poems I remember. My heart leaps up when I behold a rainbow in the sky. So was it when my life began. So is it now that I am a man. So be it when I shall grow old or let me die. The child is the father of the man, and I could wish my days to be born each to each by natural piety. Most of us are familiar with this little gem from Wordsworth. For this discussion, I wish to focus on the line, the child is the father of the man. This signifies that what we learn as children determines what we become as adults. Poetry is song. Song is music to the heart. Music is magic, and the magic of poetry brings words to life and inspires the young reader to seek the magic of words, leading to a yearning for books and enhanced reading skills. During a course of studies, the teaching of reading that I took a while ago, I was surprised to find that many of my younger colleagues had not heard of many of the poems I had experienced as a child. Can we remember this one? What a bird thought. I lived first in a little nest and lived there very well. The world to me was small and round and made of pale blue shell. I lived next in a little nest, nor needed any other. I thought the world was made of straw and covered by my mother. One day I fluttered from the nest to see what I could find. I said the world was made of leaves. I must have been so blind. At last I flew beyond the trees and saw the sky so blue. Now how the world is really made, I cannot tell, can you? Can we think of any better way to express the confusion of growing up? As a little child, we all remember the lullabies of our mothers. Can anyone here remember this? Lullaby of an Infant Chief by Sir Walter Scott. Oh, hush thee, my baby, thy sire was a knight, thy mother a lady both lovely and bright. The woods and the glens from the towers that we see, they all are belonging their baby to thee. Oh, fear not the bugle, though loudly it blows, it call but the waters that guide thy repose. Their bows would be bended, their blades would be red, ere the step of foeman draws near to thy bed. Oh, hush thee, my baby, the time soon will come, when thy sleep would be broken by trumpet and drum. Then hush thee, my darling, take rest while you may, for strife comes manhood and walking with day. Now, as we grow older, I'm sure that we can relate to this one. At the Seaside by Robert Louis Stevenson. When I was down beside the sea, a wooden spade they gave to me to dig the sandy shore. My hole was empty like a cup. In every hole the sea came up till it could come no more. Can you hear the waves? Can you feel the wonder? As an adult literacy tutor, I had, and I'm sure many of us share the experience of students sitting with a blank stare when they are to do some creative writing. I found this poem to be very helpful in getting the message of how to write letters and essay. This one is entitled How to Write a Letter by Elizabeth Turner. Maria intended a letter to write, but could not begin as she thought to indite. She went to her mother with pencil and slate containing dear sister and also a date. With nothing to say, my dear girl, do not think of wasting your time with paper and ink. But certainly, there's an excellent way to try with your slate to find something to say. I will give you a rule, said her mother, my dear. Just think for a moment, your sister is here. And what would you tell her? Consider and then, though silent your tongue, you can speak with your pen. How much more pleasurable is it hearing stories in poetry form? Narrative poetry has always been my favorite. Here's a gem from the past that still brings a lump to my throat. The Sons of Thee by Charles Kingsley. Oh, Mary, go and call the cattle home, and call the cattle home, and call the cattle home across the sands so deep. The western wind was wild and dank with foam, and all alone went she. The western tide crept up along the sand, and o'er the sand, and round the sand as far as I could see. The rolling mist came down and hid the land, and never home came she. Oh, is it weed or fish or floating here? A thrust of golden hair, a drowned maiden's hair above the nets at sea? Was never salmon yet that shone so fair among the sands so deep. They rowed her in across the rolling foam, the cruel crawling foam, the cruel hungry foam, to her grave beside the sea. But still the boatman heard her call the cattle home across the sands of deep. I must include another of my all-time favorite, The Land of Counterpane by Robert Louis Stevenson. When I was sick and lay abed, I had 2 pillows at my head, and all my toys beside me lay to keep me happy all the day. And sometimes for an hour or so, I watched my leaden soldiers go, with different uniforms and drills, among the bled clothes through the hills. And sometimes sent my shipping fleets all up and down among the sheets, or brought my trees and houses out, and planted cities all about. I was a giant great and still, that sits upon the pillow hill, and sees before him dale and plain, the pleasant land of counterpane. I feel that this presentation would not be complete until we have an item celebrating love. For me, The childhood poem that most reflected unconditional love was The Lost Doll by Charles Kingsley. I once had a sweet little doll, dears, the prettiest doll in the world. Her cheeks were so red and so white, dears, and her hair was so charmingly curled. But I lost my poor little doll, dears, as I played in the heat one day, and I cried for her more than a week, dears, but I could never find where she lay. I found my poor little doll, dears, as I played in the heat one day. Folks says she is terribly changed, dears, for her paint is all washed away, and her arms trodden off by the cow, dears, and her hair not the least bit curled. Yet for old sake, she is still, dears, the prettiest doll in the world. Folks, my intention had been to take you on a journey in revisiting the poems of my childhood. This is a personal selection. My biggest problem was not in choosing the poems I have included today, but in how much more I would have liked to include, but I left out. Childhood has been the best part of my life. Thus, the child is the father of the man, as I stated at the beginning. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Moti, for carrying some of us back to those childhood days and the kind of education we got. Well, you know, Sparrow has a different take on that.
That's a
The
different
Dan is the
story.
man in the van, right? That is from a lot of these poems were in the Nelson West Indian Reader. Is that
Nelson
correct,
West Indian
Moti?
Readers
Right.
that
So,
I use at primary school.
well, not just you, Moti, a number of us would have used that.
All people know.
Right. So Charles Kingsley, Robert Louis Stevenson, William Wordsworth, Walter Scott, and but strangely enough, I never took to these poems, you know. I never took to these poems. Let's hear some responses, please.
Those
I
are
never took to
beautiful
these
poems. I totally, I'm enjoying. I stood down here, remembering. I mean,
Yeah.
oh, I couldn't get any better than that. Of course, at the time we would not have understood anything, but now we could.
Yeah. Yes, Vilma. So you could identify with what Moti read.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Good. Anybody else wants to come in?
Well, Krishna.
Yes, Johnny.
Yes.
Yes, Johnny.
These are really wonderful thoughts.
Uh-huh.
And it brought me right back to primary school, where we read West Indian Readers.
Yes, the West
Public
Indian
Readers and Royal Readers. But Moti's presentation really did something to me in a sense that I was like the school's poet in the Sangre Grande Seventh-day Adventist school. I was the school's poet, you know, in arts festival and the concerts. I opened the concerts with poetry.
What? Okay.
There's some long, hellish poems. And people came to see this little boy in a black pants, a white shirt, a black bow tie, and a black shoe, like 5, 6 years old, standing on the stage. First man on the stage. And it was amazing. I never forgot a line.
And reciting from memory. Yes.
Yep. Never forgot a line. But one of my favorite poems in that genre is The Lion and the Glove. You remember that one?
Yes, yes.
That really struck a note on me.
Arms across her breast, she laid.
That's
the one. No, that's
see,
not that
was the
one.
one. And then The Sea King's Burial. You know that one too?
Not a drum.
Frank is falling fast.
No, that is The
Said
Burial
the
of
Sea
John
King
Moore.
to his men.
Yes, said the Sea Kings to his men. Raise me from my bed, and put my good sword in my hand where my ship in
Well, only
anchor
had good
lies.
teachers.
Listen, I had a man
Yes,
by the
yes.
name of Elias A. Toussaint.
Well, they had good teachers.
That man trained me well.
Right.
But I have kind of slid from the fancy Queen's English into a more Trini style dialect,
Yes.
which I really, really love.
Oh, which we'll get when you come on, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely. But Moti, wonderful thoughts.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. All right. So we have completed 1 hour. We're going into the second hour now, and I want to ask one of our guests, Shivana Sharma Sunat, to read her piece. She's quite willing, quite prepared to join us by reading her poem.
I don't know
Shivana.
if, thank you. I don't know if I'd be just allowed to give a little background.
Sure, Shivana, go ahead. No, that's
Yes,
okay.
I've always
As far
loved
as I'm
poetry.
concerned.
I've always loved poetry. I've always written poetry. But, parenting, being a parent, you put yourself on the back burner sometimes. And in 2021, after becoming a grandmother in 2020, I thought to myself, nah, time is running out. And I threw my hat into the ring with the First Citizens Bank Poetry Slam. And this is my piece. This is something that I wrote. Nobody was more shocked than me than when I went from preliminaries, 75 people in the prelims, to the semifinals and then to the finals. And I did, in my first attempt, I did come in the top 10. I am still shocked about that, but I would be thrilled to share this piece. And my mother is one of 5 daughters. I'm one of 2 daughters. And I also have 2 daughters. So much of what I write is about issues impacting women. And that's why when Althea read her piece, it resonated so deeply with me. And this is entitled The She in Me. And it exemplifies what it means to be a woman living in this country. So this is what I presented on the stage for the finals of the Poetry Slam. Where is she? Where is she? Mirror, mirror, don't lie to me. That's a banshee. Not the woman that I used to be. Because to be a woman in this society, you have to be an orator, a liberator, and a transformer, just to protect your family from the predators who perpetuate mayhem and misery. Imagine I'm 58 on a stage trying to make a change, one word at a time with my rhyme. But for the life of me, I don't know if I have the alchemy to turn stone into gold, to protect innocence and make a difference and build resilience. But in my experience, there's no romance in the cognitive dissonance of man and his kind. My silver jutta is my only crown, and it's matted like my mind. But my mind keeps me strong. And although my rusty armor may cut my own throat sometime, don't worry about my tongue. My tongue is just fine. And I will never stop talking when I have to see the atrocity of fathers thinking that their daughter's chastity is their trophy. But that is blasphemy, because that baby is a child of the Almighty, and you want to take liberty with her sanctity. They say in the age of Kali Yuga, you're bound to find the dis-ease of the refined is their mind. And it's always the blind leading the blind. My mother said I'm a adobe of words, but I never whitewash. I just wash. Because the hard truth I verify. So don't justify your lie that in this janam you still want to bequeath your daughter to a captor, a tormentor, an abuser, and an elder, and objectify a queen in the making because you feel she's yours for the taking and for the buying and selling. And your ego eye believes the lie that when she's sold, bartered, and dowried, that this is your charity to humanity because she was a commodity. But from my room, she was free. So why must she be less in your society? You want to pray to a deity and then pray on a devi? That is beyond me. It's like this pandemic has brought out the Pandora in me and its pandemonium, with me belching my bile to protect the exiled, the defiled child of those who will never come back home, and some families still bawling, where is she? Where is she? Please bring her back to me. And then there is he with his vanity, that if he can't have she, then nobody will have she. So you hack her and beat her like a boboli for your son and daughter to see that the love that you felt was a fallacy, and you're just full of rage, jealousy, and insecurity. And for those who have a problem for every solution, so don't scratch your match to incite, ignite, and gaslight. Because when men and women unite, we will fight this blight that plagues our land. So, in closing, my brother, don't ever misconstrue that I came here today just to slam you. Societal expectations of men is a broken game. Since when to cry and express your pain is shame. A paradigm shift must take place, and we as women have to embrace that men hurt and men need help too. So let's rewire the brain and rebuke the profane to remind, to rebrand what it means to be a man and a woman in this, our motherland. Thank you. That was my final piece for the Poetry Slam in 2021.
Very good. Thank you, Shivana. That was 2021. Did you
Yes.
follow up? Did you follow up
To-
that 10th
to-
position?
To
10th
be
place?
honest, they have asked me, and when I did it, I was 58 at the time. Everybody else was a third of my age.
Yes.
And to be on a stage, if I had given it a lot of thought, I would not have entered, because it's quite a terrifying experience to be on a stage, have an audience, have cameras up under you. And of course, it's memory work.
Yeah.
But I never say never, because I'm still writing, it's something that I love to do. And thank you so much for giving me the forum to share my piece.
Yes, well, it is a performance piece. The Grand Slam poetry competition is performance pieces. The rhyme is a nice way of stitching the lines and the thoughts together. That's a strong element. I like your play on words, or your manipulation of words, like this and ease, disease. We know that, right? This and ease. The whitewash and the just wash, and the deity and the deva, pandemic and the Pandora. Love these. Nice. You see, these delight the mind. It delights the air, delights the mind. When you play on words like these, pandemic, Pandora, whitewash, just wash, scratch your match, right? Those are some of my responses to you, Shivana. It is a performance piece. It is a particular genre of poetry that some people focus on. They take delight in, and they make a lot of money from these days.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Anybody would like to come in?
Oh, yes.
On Shivana's piece? Yeah.
Oh, yes. I just sent her a note. I just forgot to put her name, but it's an excellent work. An excellent piece of work. I mean, I had a feminist major professor, and I know what that means. You see, I told her I will forward to her a poem I wrote about my father and how he treated my mother, and the hell that my mother passed through with that man. And the title of the poem is The Devil is Dead. So, Shivana, I could send you that work. And you will see it's along the same vein like what you wrote there. Excellent work.
Thank you.
Keep doing that.
Thank you, Johnny.
That's great.
Thank you, Shivana. I want to get back to, we don't want Vishnu Gosain to miss out on this occasion. To get back to Gersha. Gersha, are you technically ready for us?
Yes, let's try it one more time.
Right, let's try it one more time. So Gersha is supposed to present Vishnu Gosain's pieces of
Okay, I don't know why. Hold on, one more time. Okay. Are you seeing something that says display over other apps?
Gersh, you could tell us what you're doing. I have no idea what
I'm
you're
trying to
trying
share
to
my
do.
screen
Huh?
so I could play Vishnu's piece.
Yeah, go ahead.
But for some reason, it's not coming up. It's giving me.
Do you, Gersh, just now, do you have it as a recording?
Yes, it's as a recording.
So, and you can't
And when I
just,
go, it brings up display over other apps, allow display over other apps, and then there's no other option. When I try to do it through files, documents, I'm seeing his recording. However, it's not allowing me to play it when I'm tabbing it. Okay, hold on. Maybe I got it now. Let's see.
you got it? Okay.
Let's hope.
Go ahead. We know you're technically minded, eh, Gersh? You're a geek.
I hope so. All right.
Try.
Permissions.
Gersh.
Okay, one more time. I'm trying.
Well,
Okay.
I'll have,
Are you seeing it?
you trying again?
Are you seeing it?
We're not seeing anything, and I'm not seeing anything. I just seen your profile.
Okay, let's try it one.
I don't know what you're.
Share. Screen. Start now.
You almost got through a while ago, you know. We saw something. All right, Gush, I'll come back to you, you know.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't know why it's
I'll
not
come back to you.
playing.
Play with it in behind the scenes and see what can.
Yeah, I may have to. I'll try to upload it to YouTube.
While Johnny regales us with Pothole Paradise, Stacks in Trinidad, Happy Indian Survival Day. Johnny.
Yes, sir.
Type of poems you into now?
Yes. These poems I've selected here is from a proposed book I'm working on that's titled Changes, Reactions, and Realities. So I have quite maybe over 100 poems inside there. So I introduced the book with a quote from John F. Kennedy. When power leads man towards arrogance, poetry reminds him of his limitations. When power narrows the areas of man's concern, poetry reminds him of the richness and diversity of his existence. When power corrupts, poetry cleanses. For art establishes the basic human truths, which must serve as the touchstone of our judgment. So that is what poetry is doing for me right now. So this first one is quick. Pothole Paradise. Well, we all are acquainted with the potholes that we are confronted with from day to day. So, oh, I live in Trinidad. Where I heard from somebody, almost everybody, that God is a Trini. But sometimes I feel God turned the wheel around a corner in Trinidad and does it because we Trinis are just bad. There's an everlasting stench all they sit on the bench in the Red House in Parliament. There is a nasty ferment for getting little people, the country people, the poor people, the hardworking people, they who struggle and fight to make it to work by day and by night, through rain, through storm. Oh God, man, oh God, on potholed roads, landslips, broken bridges, a risk for cars, cave-in sinkholes and lahars, decadent subsidence in front of their residence, potholes like lakes, oh God, mash bricks. In there might harbor alligators and snakes. Before you enter, sit and ponder. Don't know how deep. Stay awake. Don't fall asleep as axles and ball joints rattle. To get to work is a daily battle. But some still say Trinidad is nice. Trinidad is a paradise. Yes, it's true. A pothole paradise for me and you. And then Wassa, the big pappy, I really mean the water authority, dig up the weary road and half fill it with a pitron load. It's you who's left to grind. Oh, it's neat, it's fine to fix a broken line. Truth be told, they leave a hole, a nasty, stinking hellhole, like the devil's nose hole, a big, deep, and evil pothole. Wassa doesn't care fart. Wassa doesn't have a heart. And if they ever fix the rot, this is no if and this is no but. They leave a sleeping police, a hump, and yes, a dangerous lump, or a bump, 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 as though we are training for steeplechase. This is no lie, this is the real case. Choose your pothole. On your car, let it take its toll. In Grandi, in Arima, in San Fernando, Shagona, Scuba, and Mayaro, not to mention the roads in Brasso and Caparo, in Tunapuna, Barataria, and Port of Spain. Disdain, the disease is everywhere, the nastiness to show. Potholes right next to the RC Cathedral, you know. And don't talk about their hate for newly paved roads, I have to state. Break an axle, lose your steering, change to ball bearing, pay for more water, raise the price of flour, pay more for gas, pay everywhere you pass. Go spend your pittance, do the left foot, right foot dance, go fix your damaged rim and tire. This government and Wassa could burn together in the devil with the devil in hell fire. That's one. Now the next one I have is that wasn't so political, right? Okay. The next one is Tax in Trinidad. This one was published in the Eastern Seabards of Delaware because I belong to that group, the Delaware Bards Poetry Review, because I used to live in Delaware. Whether you're black or white, they will tax your blood. They will tax you even if you're praising God. They will tax you if you're wearing a Rasta dread, and certainly tax you when you come and dead. They will tax you for any damn thing you buy. They will tax you more even when you cry. They will tax you if you get a lovely wife. They will tax you for the rest of your blasted life. They will tax your old house and your property too. They will tax you even rice and cascadoo. They will tax the rain that fall in your bucket. They will tax even the hole they drill in your pocket. They will tax you for a sahina and tupolori. They will tax you for money to raise the salary. They will tax you if you take a walk for a little breeze. They will tax the air you breathe. They will tax you if you even sneeze. They will tax you if you just sit down in Starbucks. They will tax you high tax in KFC. Oh, shucks. They will tax you if you eat a food in the mall. They will tax you if you fall and go to the hospital. They will tax the poor and leave out the rich. They will tax you if you fall in a ditch. They will tax the ticket you get from the police. They will tax you if you're only eating salt and rice. They will tax you if you're sucking a chicken bone. They will tax you if you're making a cassava pone. They will tax you if you're making Benny and Tambran ball. They will tax you if you're in a manhole you fall. They will tax you if you go on a river line. They will tax you in time, out of time, anytime. They will tax you if you lose your purse and shoe. They will tax you if you're vexed and turning blue. They will tax you if you're drinking rum. They will tax you if you buy a old steel drum. They will tax you if you're cooking curry goat. They will tax you and hold you by your throat. They will tax you if you're playing pan. They will tax you if your sister name is Anne. They will tax you if you're saying the rosary. They will tax you if you stop to take a pee. They will tax you if you're catching conks. They will tax your child if your child get bonks. They will tax you if you get robbing a maxi. They will tax you if you take a PH taxi. They will tax you if you're sucking a snow cone. They will tax you if you're buying smoke bone. They will tax you think they care. They will tax you until your bank account is bare. They will tax you if you stand up too long. They will tax you if you even bend down. They will tax you in everything you do. They will tax you if you're using glue. They will tax you for every tank of gas. They will tax you for every pothole that you pass. They will tax you inside your gate and in front your door. Yes, go and vote for them. Let it tax you some more. Thank you for that. Now that is the politics that I am beginning to understand in this country. Now the next one is Happy Indian. Careful with this one. Happy Indian Survival Day. We normally kind of celebrate Indian Arrival Day, but this is one that's called Indian Survival Day. And the word here is fatal razak. It's supposed to be fatal, but I put fatal. So just bear that in mind. Now it's time to light up the chulha. Now you talked about Krishna. You talked about language. So I have tried to include some of the language that we have to understand in Trinidad. Now it's time to light up the chulha. Bring a lota with a flower and 2-3 diya. Don't frighten. Tell the story how Indian people come to La Trinity. On the fatal Razak, they crossed the sea. They came with Hanuman Chalisa, Tulsi, and mango tree. They arrived to be servants in the cane, you see, for the brutish people, indentured slaves to be. The struggle in the sugarcane was hard for all. Man, woman, and children had to walk or fall by the wayside of the brutish slave drivers in Carney to live and die for the Tate and Lyle Sugar Company. But Indians have a kind of gene. In this land of Trinidad, it can be forever seen. The power, the strength, the resolve, the resilience, you can't stop them. They will move from dependence. On their lips, you see them cry in a puja that their prayers will be heard by the supreme Brahma, the creator in the Trimurti, their truth, offering to him fresh flowers, coconuts, and fruit. And they keep praying from the slavery to find release, to find joy, laughter, and everlasting peace. In their hearts, they have this one eternal hope that their children will be able to live and cope. In every way you could envisage that the Indian people had their faith and courage to work, to toil, to struggle, the table to turn. Their children went to school and started to learn. In every problem, they found the opportunity to live, to earn, not dependent on charity. Yes, in every problem, they found the solution and stayed on the land without restitution. Oh, for the greatness of Siudas Mamu, who built a temple in the sea in Waterloo, a man who carried rock and sand on his bicycle. This remains to all up to this day a sheer miracle. You could say what you want, but in the Indian is the time clock called future gratification. Some of them go build a shack, a stall, a place to sell. They believe in working for themselves and all will be well. To understand the mind of the Indian and them, you just have to go to university, your mind to bend. You don't have to go to university, your mind to bend. Just look at them as they go from day to day, making things to sell on their merry way. It's pulori, alupai, sahina, and baigani, gulab jamun, barfi, and kachori, doubles and chana, and shadobeni sauce, roti and paratha. If you eat it, you're real at a loss. In the field of culture and celebration, there's Diwali. Chutney singing, tassa drumming, pagwa, and Navratri. They love soca and calypso too. No matter what people say, Indians arrived, and certainly they are here to stay. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, Johnny.
That's my offering.
Yeah. What Johnny has offered there is what we're seeing is a variety of poems today rendered by different people. Johnny adds what you could call the dialect poetry. That one on the text. Johnny, that could have gone on and on. That could end. The tax me for reading this book. The tax
Exactly.
me for being on poetry and prose. The tax me for listening to Moti. The tax me for listening to this Swedish woman.
If I eating a roti.
That could have gone. No,
That could have gone for a long time.
Nah, Johnny, no.
Another grain of bring another grain of corn.
They had to show some discipline there. Okay, thank you. The dialect. So I see dialect there. The contrast, not contrast, but the performance piece of Shibana. That one, it called for greater crafting. Each has its different demands. That the ones that Althea read, where I noted there was deliberate crafting of lines and rhythm and the images and so on. So I'm saying what we're getting is the gamut now, or a continuum of the different modes, the different forms of poetry, like what Moti presented was the traditional forms. We get traditional forms and the use of the structured iambic pentameter and so on, right? And in these British writers. So we have the traditional forms, and when I come to read it, I will read from a traditional form as well, the sonnet, later on. So that's Johnny's piece. If there's anybody who would like to say something, we're approaching the 2:30 mark, so we have some time before I call on others who are scheduled to read, like Cassie and Gersha, and we'll try that Vishnu piece again. And I want to include others who would like to read, like Vilma, and if there are others, I see Alan.
Pip also wants to read.
Huh? Sorry?
Pip also wants to read.
Pip. All right. There's one Pip and no. Pip and the convict. Pip, yes. All right. So who are we going to next? Oh, I asked any other responses to Johnny's pieces, Johnny's dialect pieces? Tax. Survival Day.
Could I say something?
Yes, Tax Survival Day. And what's the other one? Potholes, the potholes.
Hello?
Yes,
Hello.
Vilma.
Okay, I'm listening to the one that was just by Mr. Kumansky.
Yes.
I was listening, and the one before that. I'm thinking Indian Arrival Day is coming up, and maybe we could meet up physically somewhere and have discussions and reminiscences.
Well, you could liaise with Mr. Hudu Singh on that. He is the organizer, right?
Because you see, we don't have much time left, and I'm sure we want to, some of us would want to get some of the old memories out of our brain before we leave this planet.
All right, Vilma. As the young people say, I hear you. Okay, Vil. Any others who wants to respond to Johnny's pieces?
Yes, I
Well, I find that Johnny's
Heather.
Johnny's topics are always very timely, and he bemoaning the pothole situation in Trinidad. But right now, where
Do
I
you
live
have
in
potholes
Canada,
there?
yes, big
Really?
ones. You could bathe a baby in one. It's
Okay.
very bad, and if people damaging their car and thing, and then of course tax is always something, Trump say he's going to lower taxes, so we waiting to see, and we ready to invade Canada, so we scared like hell.
I don't know how many people drive on Valencia stretch. I don't know. But that is a death trap.
I know it as a death strip.
That's
From small, I know it as a death
You
strip.
talk, I had to dodge pothole. And now they went into some paving craze because of the situation now. Election is near. And this paving craze, they have allowed bumps and humps. They're paving, The potholes are being filled, but they're leaving hump, bump. It's 3 residents I told them living on the stretch. Humpy, lumpy, and bumpy.
Johnny?
No. I have to use. Look, they wanted to fire Joel T. Loxing this morning for writing about the hospital that they opened, that they had nothing in it.
Really? Wow.
Yes, they have a big thing about that. Now the Minister of Health now had to reply and say, no, reinstate this man immediately. It is as though we do not have an opinion, as though they want to muzzle everybody in this country. But they'll have to kill me.
You gotta
No,
come
I
on,
am
join
telling
me.
you, frankly.
Johnny, you gotta come on. You gotta campaign and you gotta come on campaign.
No. I am telling you poignantly. They'll have to kill me because it's 71 years here now in this country. I grew up 71 years, and they're still fighting for water. And the pothole and them still there? Nah. You see, that is Krishna. You see, people look at, well, what are we going to do? Who we going to put?
Yeah, that's the perennial question.
And that is wrong.
Yeah. Well, I will say, Johnny, come on campaign. We go put you.
Who? Listen,
Right.
I am Moti. I am a writer. As I said before,
Yes,
at
of
the
course.
nib of my pen, I fight my battles
Correct.
and win
Correct.
my
You
war.
use your pen. That's correct, Johnny. You're
Right.
spot on there.
I'll write.
Writers do what they have to do.
You see, that is why Joel T. Loxing wrote this long article about what is going on, and they want to break the man's neck. And I said, no. So wait, Eric Williams put some people in jail when it was the Black Power movement, and then he realized, well, hey, no, take them out of jail. They're supposed to read subversive literature. Okay. You see, that is the question that we have. That is why I am a poet. I love poetry. I write poetry. And when you see it come to me, I have to write it.
All right, so I've seen a poem on that Tiloxin issue coming up.
I start already.
Right, very good. You hold on there. Johnny, you hold on there. Let me introduce the next poet.
Next poet.
Cassie. Cassie, an elder in this community, was a very vibrant member of Poetry and Prose. Maybe because of circumstances, we don't see him as often as we would like. But here he is, Cassie Sengo, once president of the Writers Union of Trinidad and Tobago. So he's really an old stager. Cassie, all yours. I see 2BA, so I don't know what it is you were supposed to read, so you could introduce your piece.
Yeah, sure. You may not see me, but all right. So I'm getting there. These I'm doing a book too. Like many people trying to get a book together, and I sent some poems to one of the persons on the chat here, and on the in the group here, and I asked her to say, what would she like to hear? We have just 2 poems. One is called Love Lives Here. Love lives. Love lives. Love lives here now, a ghost that somehow lost its way came to stay in my heart to start a new life. That held hands, kickstand, no jangle, your ankle bangles, gold earrings, no piercings. We took flight to new heights. Graying backdrop atop clouds, crowds of shrouds made us fade and bade us come, here go, here, there, disappear, reappear where ghosts renew vows. Love lives here now. All right, so that's one simple one. Like those are nice practical ones today, but say what? It's my little portion. The other one is called reflection. She snatched from him the money she had paid, disappointed she did not get what she wanted. Was it hurt or shame that on his face played? That's why I don't like niggers, he blurted. It was the same for him, not getting what he wished for. Respect, gratitude for at least being there. He had sold out on the item, but he'll get more. Lost opportunities, both now and here. Respect, gratitude, unavailable in that moment. Not money, but opportunity escaped them both, robbing each of enjoyment that comes from employment, of skills that add value to what life is worth. So she snatched from him money she had paid. He took away dignity she deserved. We remain unaware of how these games are played until practice of meditation hits the nerve. Thank you. That's it for now.
Thank you, Cassie. You could see the philosophical strains coming out in those two poems. The first one definitely, and then in the second one also. Any response to Cassie's poems, two poems? Vilma, in the meantime, get ready. And Gersha, if you're having any luck with Vishnu's piece, if not, you have to come on also.
Would you like me to try again?
Yeah, you ready?
Sure.
Let's try now.
Sure.
If you get through, that would be nice. And then we could have Vilma and Pip, and then myself. Anybody else before me? Gush.
Yes, it's loading. Hold on.
Okay, Gush. I should have take off my
I
video.
uploaded it to YouTube,
so you
so.
want to see, so you see my reaction to that. All right.
All right, let's see. What's going on here? Okay, hold on. 2 seconds. Okay. Are you seeing it? Because I'm seeing it.
All right, I'm not seeing. We're not seeing. Are you? Anybody seen anything?
No.
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 No, we're not seeing anything.
Are you seeing
yes,
it now?
Yes, right. We're seeing something now. Go ahead.
Screen.
Okay.
Tap to unmute. Unmute. Right. Go ahead.
Aha.
Right. I'm here now.
Coming up.
Go ahead, Vish. If he's reading, we're not hearing. We are hearing just now. Vish.
You're not hearing.
We were hearing just now. I'm not hearing.
Okay, let me try again. It should be sharing.
We've seen it. I'm seeing it.
Okay.
Play.
We have video, but not sound.
Yes. Great video, but not sound.
Don't know, I'm trying. I don't understand why you're not
All
hearing
right,
it.
Gush, try. Go behind the scene again. Let me invite Vilma.
Okay. All right.
All right.
I can get this off. All right.
Let
I
me
will
invite.
continue the try.
Let me invite Vilma. Vilma.
Yes.
Yes, you'd like to read something? Feel free.
Okay.
The
Okay.
stage is all yours.
Right.
What are you reading?
Well, a poem entitled "The Death of a On the Death of a Child" by me.
On the Death of a Child by
Vilma Susanka.
Vilma Susan. On the Death of
But
a Child.
before that, I want to give Mr. Moti two lines.
What?
I think Mr. Moti, I think he missed out this important one. All right, before I start. Down by the river, down by the sea, Johnny broke a bottle and said was me. I told Ma, and Ma told Pa, and Johnny got a licking with a ha ha ha. Mr. Moti, you hear that?
I remember that one. Ha ha ha.
Okay, so this poem, I did read it at the Poetry Slam one year, and listening to Miss Shavana there, she was
Really, you
like,
were in Poetry Slam too, Vilma?
only 1 year. When I was, well, I did it 1 year. It seemed as though I was the only senior citizen there, and they didn't hesitate to use the words. The citizens. So after that, I never wanted to go back and be.
Shavana didn't use those words with you, right?
She got through. Apparently, she got through and went straight on to the finals. Lucky her.
Okay, go
Well,
ahead.
if they did it, didn't matter. I am a senior citizen and I'm blessed.
That is
Right?
it.
Yeah, but making it into a big deal anyway. On the death of a child, why come we into this world? Surely no one knows. A million people, a million explanations hold, but no one really knows. Some sages seek to pacify. Karma is done, is what they say. When relations die and we cry, everybody has to go one day. I'm sure God knows how much we bear. I am sure He knows we suffer. Bringing up children takes so much care, giving them all that we have to offer. But a child dying as young as this, what fault of it was his? Just so his time come, just so his name is struck off the list, that cannot be fair to some. At funerals, people come, go, come, speak and go. They say he's with God on another stage, but what do they really know? My heart is about to burst with rage. Who and where is that God that is held so dear? Is this proof of his power? Why did he give me this to bear and make my life turn sour? Thank you. I'm done.
Okay, Vilma, thank you for your Poetry Slam piece. All right. I want to try Gosha again. Gosha, anybody wants to make any comment on Vilma's piece? Gosha,
Yes.
can you read your piece? What you're supposed to read first?
Okay, no problem. I can do that. I have
Yeah.
the link as well because I uploaded his piece on YouTube. So if anyone else wants to try, I don't know why I'm not getting through. I can enable share screen for everyone.
Let's hear your piece, Gush.
Okay, sure.
All right.
All right. So I have three pieces today.
3 pieces. All right.
In a tea shop on a hill, surrounded by beauty, priced out to locals, 3 white women sit next to a family of visiting nationals. Trini Indians, now Canadian Indians. This is the best jam I've tasted in my life, the mother compliments the owner. She wants to leave a tip. She's happy to be home. She will neatly pile the dishes at the end of the table for collection. What country are we going to conquer next? One American exclaims excitedly as she sits. The women talk about building an empire, a network of sorts through Latin America and the Caribbean. They take pictures of the fruit, talk of how lovely it is to be locally grown. They have good fruit, they all agree. The conversation is for the room, and it revolves around coffee, AI, and work unknown. The room empties to watch the hummingbirds empty their feeders. Voices blend with bird songs and the buzz of the hummingbird wings. The family claims a corner in the shade. The mother, once smiling, now sighs. So that's my first piece. The second piece.
Gersh, that first piece was unnamed, untitled?
Yes.
I didn't, because I didn't get any. All right.
They're all untitled and
Okay.
unedited, so forgive me. So the second piece, The Type of Breeze. Now this piece is also untitled. The type of breeze that demands attention. It speaks through leaves, but for a few seconds it reminds you of its power. Thick branches sway, and you're pulled out of your selfish meanderings and take notice of a power greater than yourself. And that's the second piece. And the last piece is called, this is my only piece that's actually entitled. It's called Indigo Bird. Surprise to the eyes when the sunlight kisses indigo feathers. Going about life draped in beauty, being unmoved by the wind, perched in absolute indifference. The world wants to know. Ask if you know. Have you seen you? To reach out and touch, to be sure. You fly into the forest. The world cannot follow. That's my three pieces. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Gersha. Gersha is the founder of Poetry and Prose. Those pieces, well, are getting a strong sense of meditation. And the third was more imagistic, but meditative pieces. Any comments on Gersha's pieces? Okay, I want to invite other guests who would like to read. Pip, you say wanted to read? Pip, can you identify yourself?
Yeah, sure. Hello.
Right.
Hang on.
And the stage is yours, Pip. Oh, all right.
Hello.
Okay, so feel free.
I feel free. Okay, this is a poem. Okay, this is a poem completely made up of idioms. So an idiom is something like, for example, it's raining cats and dogs, or I've got butterflies in my stomach, or something like that. It's raining cats and dogs. So, but I've mixed the idioms up a bit. So this is a poem called Idiomaticon. I make a mole out of a mountain. I chew off more than I can bite. I'm a disguise and a blessing. I put stomach in my butterflies. I'm the bag out the cat, the bonnet out the bee, a dozen and a dime, and the hatchet even buried me. I'm the worst of both worlds. I'm better never than late. I'm the first straw, not the last. And even when the dust settles, I'll still wait. And when I'm ill, I'm over the weather. And I'll be wrong as rain. Every silver lining has a cloud. But I'm the neck in the pain. I'm the eye of the apple through thin and thick. The room in the elephant. And that's the long and short of it. I'm the teacup in the storm. I book a judge by the cover. I'm the home that comes to the cow. Necessity's never been my mother. There's 2 fires in my iron. I get the road on the show. My cat killed curiosity, but there's never fire without smoke. There's madness to my method. I don't cut the mustard cuts me. Words speak louder than actions, 'cause I'm so on purpose, accidentally. I add injury to insult. I make a short story long. I throw wind to caution. It's so right, it's wrong. My blood is thinner than water. It's twice in a blue moon. It never pours, it rains for me, and I go up like a lead balloon. I'll get there by the teeth of my skin. Once bitten, twice bitten, once shy. I'm always mixing things up, but the limit is the sky. Okay, my second poem is called The Shape of It. And it's a poem made up of the names of shapes. So like circles, triangles, oblongs. And it goes a little bit like this. They say it's a vicious circle, but I think it's a rhombus of rage, a hexagon of hatred, a cuboid in a cage. It could be a trapezium of trepidation or a rectangle of ruin, a square of scorn or an ellipse of exasperation. Perhaps it's an oblong of outrage or a sphere of scorn, a cylinder of cynicism, a helix with horns. Could it be a parallelogram of pernicious panic or an arc of anger? An arrow of antagonism or a prism of paranoia. It could be a decagon of disarray or a diamond of discontent, a wedge of wrath or a callous cone of miscontent. Perhaps it's a spiral of storm or a fractal of fury, a tetrahedron of turbulence or an acute triangle of adversary. Would it be a tempestuous tesseract or a semicircle that scowls, or a pyramid of pure pessimism or a hectagon that howls? Maybe it's an oval of outrage or a polygon of pain, a triangle that taunts you, or an isosceles with indignation in the rain. It's safe to say I'm considerably vexed. And none of these shapes are quite what I was after. And while some of them do justice to the sheer depth of my annoyance, perhaps the shape will never meet its master. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Pip, for those unusual pieces. Creating poetry using idioms and shapes is like a performance piece also. And I like your spirit, the vivacious way in which you rendered your work, and that background also. Very interesting. Very interesting. And of course your outfit. Everything seems to be in cue, in tune. What's the word? Everything in sync, sorry. Everything is in sync with the poems themselves. Very unusual. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any?
Very clever, Pip.
Yes. Okay. Alana, I want to invite anybody else who would like to read before I read. Alana?
No, I don't have anything today, sorry.
Nothing today. Okay. Anybody else?
Yes,
Joan?
Yes, if I may.
Joan?
Thank you. Yes, thanks. Can I go now then?
Yes. Is it June? Oh, June. June is reading now.
Yeah.
June, not June, right? Yes, June. Go ahead.
Right. This is from the works of Walt Whitman, and it's called Give Me the Splendid Silent Sun. Give me the splendid silent sun with all its beams full dazzling. Give me juicy autumnal fruit, ripe and red from the orchard. Give me a field where the unmowed grass grows. Give me an arbor. Give me the trellised grape. Give me fresh corn and wheat. Give me serene moving animals teaching content. Give me nights perfectly quiet, as on high plateaus west of the Mississippi, and I looking up at the stars. Give me odorous at sunrise, a garden of beautiful flowers where I can walk undisturbed. Give me for marriage a sweet-breathed woman of whom I should never tire. Give me a perfect child. Give me a way aside from the noise of the world, a rural domestic life. Give me to warble specification. Give me to warble spontaneous songs, recluse by myself, for my own ears only. Give me solitude. Give me nature. Give me again, O nature, your primal sanities. That's the end. Thank you.
Thank you, June. Walt Whitman, we know. A great name in American poetry, Leaves of Grass.
Right.
He spent years and years writing Leaves of Grass before, there were different drafts and editions, publications. Walt Whitman, a champion of free verse too, with American poetry and American poetry. That's a nice touch also to our program to bring in Whitman. Okay, I would like to read my piece. It's a sonnet from my book of sonnets called Ruminations. It's 70 sonnets to celebrate my 70 years, my 70th birthday. Right? This is called Poet of the Revolution. Actually, I was thinking of that as the title of this work. I told my sons, they say, well, what are you working on next? I say, that's now, I have to drink some water, sorry. I say, a book called Poet of the Revolution. I know what I had in mind. Poet of the Revolution, excuse me. Did you see what label it is? You're not supposed to show, right? You're supposed to advertise. So I told him I'm writing a book called Poet of the Revolution. But when I started to write it, so things changed in the course, sometime in the course. And when I Googled Poet of the Revolution, I saw other books named Poet of the Revolution, and I didn't like that. So I can't do that. So I renamed it Ruminations, and the title, Motilal Budusing, he enjoyed the title and the roomy part of it. So Ruminations, a book of sonnets is the name of the book. It's my latest book. It's on Amazon, and it's my 9th published work, really. My 9th published work. Not all poems. Poet of the Revolution. Right. There was to be a revolution. He, its poet. Seeds of verse flung in the wind in a manic and somewhat fiery rage. Dark and dismal corners of the mind lit up. In his lifetime, the tongue convulsed twice. Each time the call made, things went awry. Into an obscene orgy turned. repulsed, the raid petered out. Though some voices die, the salt must not its savor lose. Retreat. An insight from some strange source may reveal the way forward. Condemned not to repeat grave errors of history. The mass appeal of lines in vers libre urged to portray eschewed gray matters. That was his forte. Thank you. That's my bit to this celebration of World Poetry Day. Okay, and now I'd like to hand over the microphone to Kersha Mahabir, from host to lead host. Kersh, all yours to wrap up.
Thank you so much, everyone, for attending today. And thank you, Krishna, so much for chairing. This is a free open group.
You're welcome.
If you are interested in chairing at any point, just reach out and let me know. And thank you, everyone that's new. I hope you enjoyed the session. And if you'd like, we typically leave the room open after we close off our recording and live as the parking lot where people could chat and share information. So with that, we're going to close this session. Thank you I hope you enjoyed our celebration of World Poetry Day.
Bye, Krishna.
The recording has stopped.
Taxi for that.
You're a taxi for that.
For saying bye, Krishna.
You see what happened? You have that water, and I have this water.
Let me see. Oh, you have big water there, boy. Because...
Yeah, look. I like Kalapani, you know.
That's your Kalapani?
Yeah.